Greetings, 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 peace, love, harmony, and light. This is Chief Kalanago with a video. Once again, dropping some serious jewels for the people. Videos are always for educational purposes. You know what I mean? Well, there's just so much knowledge that needs to be had, man, and gotta keep putting that information out there. So I'm gonna give you guys some time to log in. But in the meantime, between time, I want to give thanks to the Great Spirit. I want to give thanks to my ancestors for continued guidance and protection, and just thankful that I'm being able to, just to be used as a tool, as a vessel, you know what I'm saying, to bring the enlightenment to the people. So with that being said, allow me to say, Sakpase, Shalom, Osio, Mabriqua, Halito, Aloha, Konnichiwa, Islam, what the deal is, Wagwan. So let's do this, man. Let's do this. Reason, once again, like I said, videos is for educational purposes. You know what I mean? Do your own research. Don't take my word for this. All right? Do your own research. I'm going to tell you a few things that you're going to experience. All right? I'm going to tell you a few things that you're going to experience in your growth and coming into the knowledge of who you are. All right? When you're stepping into the knowledge of who you are, always keep in mind that there are people, the so-called powers there be, all right, that's going to make it hard for you. All right? They're going to make you seem as if, you're anti-government. They're going to try to paint you as you're a rogue. You know what I'm saying? And just know that all that is part of their scare tactic, all right? Claiming who we are as indigenous people, there's nothing unlawful or illegal about that. That's all right, okay? As the original people of the land, you came here and met us on our land, and we will not be silent, all right? We are not going to allow you to subject us, all right? We did not come here on slave ships, just for the record. So just want to put a few things and make a few things straight, because these people, they're cowards. You know what I mean? They're cowards. That's all they are, a bunch of cowards. And they know they're violating people's rights, but be the best interests of the corporations they work for. And indeed, they are corporations, all right? Because people were not born in the capacity that they're acting in. All right, they're acting in all these different capacities, and that's why they are called actors. But once you step up to claim who you are, then they want to label you as a terrorist. They want to label you as anti-government. Well, let me make the record clear. I am not anti-government. The truth of the matter is the United States and every state across America, across the United States, is supposed to deal with indigenous people from a government to government basis. So therefore, I am for government, but I'm not for government that's going to violate my indigenous rights and try to paint our people as hostiles. Okay? That's an old tactic that you've been using from day one, and it's not going to fly anymore. You feel me? We're living in a new day and age. So that's not going to fly. Trying to assassinate people's character is not going to work. You feel me? So let us get into a few things. All right. As you can see, the heading of the video, it's I'm going to show you a clip of Ronald Reagan. Now, I don't have any rights to the audio or even, the video. But however, I'm just going to use it for educational purposes, fair use. As a matter of fact, let me just pull that up right now. Give me a second. Give me a second. Let me just pull that up. All right. Give me a second. Let me pull that up. Because it amazes me that every other ethnic group that comes into our land, they are allowed to have a nationality. They are allowed to be identified from their point of origin. But it seems like every time the American Aboriginal, the original American, wants to do that, then it's a problem. Why do we get to be 7, 8 different ethnic groups in one, or different identities, and it's okay with everybody? because they know we are not standing in our proper self. And when I say our proper self, I mean as the original indigenous people of the land. Okay? We are not claiming our tribal or clan affiliations. And that's the problem. So I keep telling you, everything that's happening to us as a people, we are responsible for, because we are too focused on individualism. And when it comes to violating our rights, these people, they work together. All right? They are all business associates, and they're working for the private interests of their owners. Keep that in mind. Okay? So let me just pull that up real quick, and I'm going to get into this bill. Let me come back here for a second. Once again, for those of you who feel the need to support, by all means do so. Like I said, man, y'all have no idea the things that I have to go through to bring this information to you. All right. So all I'm just saying is show you appreciation, man. That's all. All right. So let me get into the video. Let me share my screen, and let me pull up my hotspot just in case, you know, they try to mess with my video. All right. Because you people have to realize, man, the people who came here, all right, they didn't just come here in peace to take what's ours. So they're not just going to sit back and give it back to us. All right. So we have to be affirmative. All right. We have to be strong in our standing as who we are as a people. And we are not going to waver. All right. They see the wave of indigenous Americans standing up as who they are. And they're scared. They're afraid. Instead of saying, you know what, man, listen, why can't we all just live in peace? But nah, that's not what they want, though. They want to keep infringing on people's rights. But like I said, I'm going to continue to bring that information, because that's what my ancestors got me here doing. So I'm about to do that. So I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to get into the video. I'm going to play the video, and also I'm going to pause, break it down. That's what I'm going to be doing, so that okay, here we go. That's the video right here. Even before that I do this, let me just come here real quick. All right, and just hear this. Okay.
Fair use. Fair use. Fair use.
All right, here we go.
This is the issue of this election. Whether we believe in our capacity for self-government, or whether we abandon the American Revolution and confess that a little intellectual elite in a far distant capital can plan our lives for us better than we can plan them ourselves. Now, it doesn't require expropriation or confiscation of private property or business to impose socialism on a people. What does it mean whether you hold the deed to or the title to your business or property, if the government holds the power of life and death over that business or property? And such machinery already exists. The government can find some charge to bring against any concern it chooses to prosecute. Every businessman has his own tale of harassment. Somewhere a perversion has taken place. Our natural unalienable rights are now considered to be a dispensation of government.
All right, let's stop right here. Let's pay attention real quick. Listen to this again. All right. As a matter of fact, you know what? Let's listen to the entire thing, then we'll recap.
Freedom has never been so fragile, so close to slipping from our grasp as it is at this moment. Well, I think it's time we ask ourselves if we still know the freedoms that were intended for us by the founding fathers. Not too long ago, two friends of mine were talking to a Cuban refugee, a businessman who had escaped from Castro. And in the midst of his story, one of my friends turned to the other and said, "We don't know how lucky we are." And the Cuban stopped and said, "How lucky you are. I had some place to escape to." And in that sentence, he told us the entire story. If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth. And this idea that government is beholden to the people, that it has no other source of power except the sovereign people, is still the newest and the most unique idea in all the long history of man's relation to man. This is the issue of this election. Whether we believe in our capacity for self-government, or whether we abandon the American Revolution and confess that a little intellectual elite in a far distant capital can plan our lives for us better than we can plan them ourselves. You and I are told increasingly we have to choose between a left or right. Well, I'd like to suggest there is no such thing as a left or right. There's only an up or down. man's own old age dream, the ultimate in individual freedom consistent with law and order, or down to the ant-heap of totalitarianism. And regardless of their sincerity, their humanitarian motives, those who would trade our freedom for security have embarked on this downward course. In this vote harvesting time, they use terms like the Great Society, or as we were told a few days ago by the president, we must accept a greater government activity in the affairs of the people. But they've been a little more explicit in the past, and among themselves, and all of the things I now will quote have appeared in print. These are not Republican accusations. For example, they have voices that say the Cold War will end through our acceptance of a not undemocratic socialism. Another voice says the profit motive has become outmoded. It must be replaced by the incentives of the welfare state. Or our traditional system of individual freedom is incapable of solving the complex problems of the 20th century. Senator Fulbright has said at Stanford University that the Constitution is outmoded. He referred to the president as our moral teacher and our leader. And he says he is hobbled in his task by the restrictions of power imposed on him by this antiquated document. He must be freed so that he can do for us what he knows is best. And Senator Clark of Pennsylvania, another articulate spokesman, defines liberalism as meeting the material needs of the masses through the full power of centralized government. Well, I, for one, resent it when a representative of the people refers to you and me, the free men and women of this country, as the masses. This is a term we haven't applied to ourselves in America. But beyond that, the full power of centralized government, this was the very thing the founding fathers sought to minimize. They knew that governments don't control things. A government can't control the economy without controlling people. And they know when a government sets out to do that, it must use force and coercion to achieve its purpose. They also knew, those founding fathers, that outside of its legitimate functions, government does nothing as well or as economically as the private sector of the economy.
All right, so what I'm going to do is, okay, I'm going to play this video again and dissect the information, or at least, what's, relevant to the subject matter at hand. All right, because we have to know, it's important, family, that y'all get this. All right, it's important. It's important, man. All right, let's play this again.
This is the issue of this election. Whether we believe in our capacity for self-government or whether we abandon the American Revolution and confess that a little intellectual elite in a far distant capital can plan our lives for us better than we can plan them ourselves. Now, it doesn't require expropriation or confiscation of private property or business to impose socialism on a people. What does it mean whether you hold the deed to or the title to your business or property if the government holds the power of life and death over that business or property? And such machinery already exists. The government can find some charge to bring against any concern it chooses to prosecute. Every businessman has his own tale of harassment. Somewhere a perversion has taken place. Our natural unalienable rights are now considered to be a dispensation of government.
All right, let us stop here real quick. A couple of things. So, President Reagan spoke of, all right, the deed for your business, or, whatever, the deed that you have. Once you turn that deed over, all right, it is out of your control. You see what I'm saying? So he's telling you about all these things, that we are dealing with right now. And he spoke of unalienable rights. Now, let us get into that real quick. Let me show you the difference between unalienable and inalienable. All right, because the semantics with the words that are being played, we have to know what they are. Okay, we as a people, we have to educate ourselves. I keep telling y'all, turn these televisions off and teach your children. Now let us look at the difference. He didn't say inalienable, he said unalienable. It's two different words. They're interchangeable, but within their system, it means two different things. Okay, now, that's Black's Law Dictionary, the second edition. What is inalienable? Not subject to alienation, the characteristic of those things which cannot be bought or sold or transferred from one person to another, such as rivers and public highways and certain personal rights. It said certain personal rights. So that means certain rights can be alienable. Now, peep the language. You have to pay attention. You have to pay the attention. Pay attention. It says here again, okay, and certain personal rights, not all, but certain. So that's inalienable. Let us look at unalienable. Black's Law second law dictionary again, second edition. What is unalienable? Incapable of being aliened. That is sold and transferred. I'm going to point out the difference here for you again. In inalienable, when you have inalienable rights, it is kind of like almost saying the same thing. But this is where the difference comes in. When it says, and certain personal rights. So they get to decide what rights of yours that are alienable. Because now, when we break down this word and we take away INA, which is in a, and we take away able, let us go look at what lien means. Lien, a right to keep possession of property belonging to another person until a debt owed by the person is discharged. He didn't say pay, but discharge, because there's no money. Let's go look at this again. All right, because I really want that to sink in. Let's go look at this again. Reagan said, unalienable natural rights. Those natural rights are rights that came from the Creator. Unalienable natural rights. Those are the rights that he spoke of. Incapable of being aliened, that is sold or transferred. Now, let us take away a and ed, and let us go look again at what lien means. A right to keep possession of property belonging to another person until a debt owed by the person is discharged. That's why when they take you to court, they have to what? They have to charge you. And by law, we are supposed to be able to discharge that charge, not pay for the charge, because there is no money. Let us go look at inalienable, not on, but inalienable. It says not subject to alienation, meaning that, in essence, when we go look at the word at lien, meaning that, where a lien could be put on it. All right. The characteristic of those things which cannot be bought or sold or transferred from one person to another, such as rivers and public highways. So rivers and public highway, definitely. You see the difference? Now, when it comes to your personal rights, guess what? They are able to put a lien on your personal rights until what? Until a debt that you owe is discharged. But when you have unalienable rights, it means that those are rights from your Creator. They cannot put a lien on those rights. Now, I hope you see the difference between unalienable and inalienable. Unalienable means that they cannot put a lien on your Creator natural given rights. But inalienable means that they could put a lien on your rights, on your property, on your children. I didn't say it. Reagan said it. I'm taking it straight from his mouth and bringing it to you. All right? So that's the first thing that you need to pay attention to. Let us go back to the video.
Freedom has never been so fragile, so close to slipping from our grasp as it is at this moment. Well, I think it's time we ask ourselves if we still know the freedoms that were intended for us by the founding fathers.
All right, so let's stop here. By no means indicating or insinuating that his founding fathers are my founding fathers. No. His founding fathers came and met us here. All right? But those unalienable natural rights belong to all the people, not just indigenous people, even the people who came here. As people, we have natural rights given to us by our Creator. Okay? That's why you have to be recreated so that they could take away your rights, put a lien in alienable, put a lien on your rights, and they're able to charge you. But by law, you should be able to discharge, because that's what they're doing. They're charging you every time you go to court. What they say you are being charged with. So why are they asking you for money? That's unlawful, because there is no money. By law, you are supposed to discharge that charge. Okay? Let us listen.
Too long ago, two friends of mine were talking to a Cuban refugee, a businessman who had escaped from Castro. And in the midst of his story, one of my friends turned to the other and said, "We don't know how lucky we are." And the Cuban stopped and said, "How lucky you are. I had some place to escape to." And in that sentence, he told us the entire story. If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth. And this idea that government is beholden to the people, that it has no other source of power except the sovereign people.
Hold up. Did Reagan said the people are sovereign? So how is that when people say they're sovereign, they want to confuse it with sovereign citizen? There's no such thing as a sovereign citizen, but there are sovereign people. So you see, they like to play semantics with the words, all right, to turn you into what they call a terrorist, anti-government. But even Reagan said it with his own mouth, the sovereign people. Once again, let me just play it again, because maybe I'm hearing things and Reagan don't know what he's talking about. But let's listen to it again.
And this idea that government is beholden to the people, that it has no other source of power except the sovereign people. Is beholden to the people, that it has no other source of power except the sovereign people. Stand on earth. And this idea that government is beholden to the people, that it has no other source of power except the sovereign people, is still the newest and the most unique idea in all the long history of man's relation to man.
All right. So here's the thing. Governments have no power except the power given to them by the sovereign people. Reagan said it. I didn't say it. But you see, when you claim to be a sovereign man or woman, you see, they want to play the semantics with the word and try to label you as a sovereign citizen. You see what I'm saying? So be careful out there, family. Be careful. All right? I don't know what you call yourself. I don't know what you identify as. But let it be known for the record that I ain't got nothing to do with sovereign citizens. I'm not a sovereign citizen, but however, I'm a sovereign man. All right? My Creator gave me my unalienable natural rights. When you came to my land, you met my people as sovereign people. And I'm going to stand on that. Show me anywhere in the law, in any law, where a man or a woman or the people cannot call themselves sovereign. I'll wait for that law. But anyway, let's proceed.
This is the issue of this election. Whether we believe in our capacity for self-government or whether we abandon the American Revolution and confess that a little intellectual elite in a far distant capital can plan our lives for us better than we can plan them ourselves. You and I are told increasingly we have to choose between a left or right. Well, I'd like to suggest there is no such thing as a left or right. There's only an up or down.
You hear that again? So for all you people that's caught up in the left wing and the right wing, you heard Reagan said it. There is no left or right. Man, they're all the same thing. There's only up or down. Okay? Spiritual realms being manifest in the physical, so as above, so is below. It's all about the have and the have-nots. It has nothing to do with left or right. They all have the same ideologies. Anytime you're dealing with governments that has taken the unalienable rights of the people, then you're living in captivity, man. That's just facts. I didn't say it. He said it. Let's listen to that again.
We have to choose between a left or right. Well, I'd like to suggest there is no such thing as a left or right. Just that in a far distant capital can plan our lives for us better than we can plan them ourselves. You and I are told increasingly we have to choose between a left or right. Well, I'd like to suggest there is no such thing as a left or right. You and I are told increasingly we have to choose between a left or right. Well, I'd like to suggest there is no such thing as a left or right. There's only an up or down. Man's old age dream, the ultimate in individual freedom consistent with law and order, or down to the ant-heap of totalitarianism. And regardless of their sincerity, their humanitarian motives, those who would trade our freedom for security have embarked on this downward course. In this vote harvesting time, they use terms like the Great Society, or as we were told a few days ago by the president, we must accept a greater government activity in the affairs of the people. But they've been a little more explicit in the past, and among themselves, and all of the things I now will quote have appeared in print. These are not Republican accusations. For example, they have voices that say the Cold War will end through our acceptance of a not undemocratic socialism. Another voice says the profit motive has become outmoded. It must be replaced by the incentives of the welfare state. Or our traditional system of individual freedom is incapable of solving the complex problems of the 20th century. Senator Fulbright has said at Stanford University that the Constitution is outmoded. He referred to the president as our moral teacher and our leader. And he says he is hobbled in his task by the restrictions of power imposed on him by this antiquated document. He must be freed so that he can do for us what he knows is best. And Senator Clark of Pennsylvania, another articulate spokesman, defines liberalism as meeting the material needs of the masses through the full power of centralized government. Well,
all right, centralized governments. In other words, what does that ring a bell? Centralized government, centralized banking. All right, they own this system. So I didn't say it, man. You heard it from Reagan's mouth. All right, I just wanted to point that out because I'm gonna tell you once again. Let me stop sharing my screen real quick. Okay, I'm gonna tell you one thing again. Once you are stepping up to identify who our grandmothers say we were. Our grandmother told us that we were American Indians. By claiming that, by declaring that, they are going to make it hard for you, okay? They're going to say that you're anti-government. Well, how can we be anti-government when we want to develop our governance? The problem is you don't want us to develop our own government, which we had before the colonizers came to our land. You feel me? So just to recap, I showed you the difference in the words inalienable and unalienable. I showed you that. Okay? So when you profess to have inalienable rights, that means your rights, it is lienable. They only give you certain rights. In other words, you only have certain privileges. But when we speak of unalienable rights, we are talking about the rights that Ronald Reagan spoke of in 1964. Natural rights given to us by our Creator. You feel what I'm saying? And that's facts. But let us share the screen once more. Okay, let us share the screen once more. Let's get into some other information here for a second. All right. Let us go look at House Resolution 331. All right. Because you see, a lot of times, you know, the people who try to prevent us from declaring who we are, they always speak of these documents and they are not legally binding. Well, every state, once Congress passed those, how would we call, whether it may be declarations or resolutions, every state is a party to that. All right? And you have to respect people's rights, especially indigenous people's rights. The people that your ancestors came here, when you came here begging, hungry, and we fed y'all. Okay, where's the gratitude? Where's the respect? But anyway, let us look at, I'm not going to read the entire thing, but I'm just going to show you some of it. House Resolution 331. The same year Jesse Jackson, Messi Jackson, came and again brought back the term African American. But let's read a little bit here, because you see, reading is fun for the mental. So let's read some more. Okay, let's read. Concurrent resolution to acknowledge the contribution of the Iroquois Confederacy of Nations to the development of the United States Constitution, and to reaffirm the what? The continuing government-to-government relationship between what? Indian tribes and the United States established in the Constitution. So how are we anti-government? We are for government. We just want the government-to-government relationship like it was established in the Constitution. It is that simple. This is our land. This is our home. It is not your point of origin. However, this is our point of origin. So I'm going to read that again. Concurrent resolution to acknowledge the contribution of the Iroquois Confederacy of Nations to the development of the United States Constitution, and to reaffirm the continuing government-to-government relationship between Indian tribes and the United States established in the Constitution. Now, I know the Constitution is lawfully and legally binding. So how come it's mentioned? How come we Indians are the only ones mentioned in the Constitution? So obviously we have a document that's lawfully and legally binding. It's called the Constitution. And it's saying that, all right, that it is established with Indian tribes and Indians in the Constitution that you are supposed to deal with us from a government-to-government basis. So there's no way we could be anti-government. The defamation of character will cost y'all, okay? Whereas the original framers of the Constitution, including most notably George Washington and Benjamin Franklin, are known to have greatly admired the concepts of the 6 nations of the Iroquois Confederacy. Whereas the confederation of the original 13 colonies into one republic was influenced by the political system developed by the Iroquois Confederacy, as were many of the democratic principles which were incorporated into the Constitution itself. So in other words, it was our government system, all right, that was modeled to create the Constitution and to build the United States. Now, am I proud of that? Right now, obviously no, because look at what we are dealing with as the original people of the land. No respect, no gratitude, no appreciation. What if when you were hungry, our ancestors didn't feed you? What when your boats came and they found your broken ships, and they found you cold and hungry, and they made you soup and gave you warm corn to eat? What if they allowed you to starve? Would we be having this problem today? Am I mad at my ancestors for being so good-hearted, being so loving? No, I'm not, because that's our people by nature. We are a loving people. But y'all don't want to allow us to thrive. You want to continue to portray us as beasts. You want to continue to portray us as thugs, as gangsters, when you know damn well you are the gangsters, because we have shown you nothing but love. But you continue to try to the act of genocide on our people, oppress our people. Why? But I know why. But let's read a little more. Let's read some more. And whereas, since the formation of the United States, the Congress has recognized once again what? The sovereign status of Indian tribes. Here goes that word sovereign again. So how is that Congress could talk about sovereign? How come is that Ronald Reagan could talk about sovereign? But when I say I'm a sovereign man, it's a problem? Come on, man. Y'all people need to get off your high horse, man. I know y'all listening. And I want you to listen, because you are violating the rights of the people, especially the original people of this land. Okay? We know who we are. We are not going to stop. We are not going to stop coming together. We are not going to stop loving together. Y'all played enough of these games on us with the divide and conquer and the separating of our people. It's not going to happen no more because you don't realize it's a spiritual thing. And a lot of you cannot attain that level of spirituality. So you can't see and feel where we are going and where we are at right now. But we know we're not going back. Because we started to call each other brother and sister again and call each other gods again. And you know it's a problem for you. So it doesn't matter what you do with the individuals. Trust me, another 10,000, 2 million is going to get that same frequency because it's that time. Y'all cannot stop it. It's inevitable. So I suggest we come to the table and talk. Let's talk. Let's see how we could pan this out and work this out so that there could be peace. Because our people are not going to take it anymore. You see, once you have bullied people and pushed them to the ground, and you have stamped on their necks and took away everything that they had, there's nothing more. They ain't got nothing to lose. We only have something to gain. That's how much you have pushed our backs against the wall. But we could change the course of history. Are you so hardened in your heart? Are you so evil? Are you so godless that you will not say, you know what, man? When we came here as pilgrims, when we came here as indentured servants and slaves, these people, their ancestors, took us in. Granted, we took a lot of stuff. We took it away from them eventually. But we were in our own land of origin. We were living like peasants. We were living like animals. And we came into a world that we deemed the new world. And we found a better life for our people, our children. We gave y'all that opportunity. Where is the respect? Where is the gratitude? But I'm saying it's going to stop. It's going to stop eventually. Because you cannot push us down any further. We have literally touched rock bottom. And we ain't got nowhere else but to go. The only thing that heat does is rise. And the heat is on. Our chakras are opening up. Our solar plexus are heating up. Can't stop the sun from shining. We are the children of the sun. Can't stop it. No matter how much chemtrails y'all put in the sky, it's not going to stop it. It is not going to stop it. We are immortal people. Keep that in mind. So once again, I'm going to stop right here. Whereas, since the formation of the United States Congress has recognized the sovereign status of Indian tribes and has, through the exercise of powers reserved to the federal government in the Commerce Clause of the Constitution, Article 1, Section 2, Clause 3, dealt with Indian tribes on a government-to-government basis. So how can we be anti-government? I love governments. I just don't like governments that impede on my rights. I just don't like governments that want to tell me what to do in my land when I'm not breaking no laws, when I'm not harming people or damaging people's property, because that's the only time a law is broken, or defrauding people. All right. Let's go to another document. Let's go to another document. Where I have that at? I think it's right here. All right. So go ahead and tell me all this stuff doesn't mean anything. It's not legally binding because Congress apologized for what they did to my ancestors. So what you're trying to tell me, what Congress said, they didn't mean it? Let us read that again. House Joint Resolution 3. House Joint Resolution 3. To acknowledge a long history of official depredation and ill-conceived policies by the United States government regarding Indian tribes and offer an apology to all native peoples on behalf of the United States. Now, you tell me, what is that? Why would Congress apologize? I know you're going to tell me now that's not lawfully or legally binding, huh? Well, House Joint Resolution 3, to acknowledge a long history of official depredation. And anytime you're preventing me from declaring who I am, that's exactly what you're doing. You're depriving me of my birthright. You're depriving me of my nationality. And ill-conceived policies by the United States government regarding Indian tribes and offer an apology to all native peoples. All native peoples on behalf of the United States. Let's read a little bit. In House of Representatives, that was January 4th, 2007, joint resolution to acknowledge a long history of official depredations and ill-conceived policies by the United States government regarding Indian tribes and offer an apology to all native peoples on behalf of the United States. Whereas the ancestors of today's native peoples inhabited the land of present-day United States since time immemorial. What does that mean? Just in case y'all don't know what it means that my ancestors have been here from when there was no time. Time immemorial, very, very ancient time. And for thousands of years before the arrival of peoples of European descent. That's why you have to ask these people what's their point of origin. Okay? Ask them what's their point of origin, because they have to tell you what is their point of origin. My point of origin is the Americas. What's yours? You're here trying to deprive me of my rights. Okay? The people of the United States, we have been here from what? From time immemorial. Y'all try to fool us and give us movies and show us $5 Indians as the original people. We ain't buying that no more. No, we woke now. And all woke means is we're aware. And we're not going to fall for it anymore. Okay? Let us read a little more. Whereas the native peoples have for millennia honored, protected, and stewarded this land we cherish. Okay? We were the guardians of this land that you try calling your own right now. All right? Just know that the soil belonged to us and we belong to the soil. Y'all don't know how spiritual this is. You go up against the original people when they are vibing on such a high frequency. I promise you, our ancestors are going to pass that judgment on you like you have never seen before. Trust me on that. It's coming. You have a chance to make amends. All right? Don't just ask for forgiveness, but show that you mean what you say. Okay? Whereas the native peoples are spiritual peoples. You hear that? Not religious, but spiritual peoples. I hope you know what that means. It means that we can step into the spiritual realm and change your life immediately if we so choose to. A lot of people, they ain't tapped into it yet, but trust me, I can. I can. Keep that in mind when y'all come against Chief Kalanago. All right? Whereas the native peoples are spiritual peoples with a deep and abiding belief in the Creator. And for millennia, their peoples have maintained a powerful spiritual connection to this land, as is evident by their customs and legends. Whereas the arrival of the Europeans in North America opened a new chapter in the history of the native peoples. Whereas the wild establishment of permanent European settlements in North America did stir conflict with nearby Indian tribes, peaceful and mutually beneficial interactions also took place. Whereas the foundational English settlements in Jamestown, Virginia, and Plymouth, Massachusetts owed their survival in large measure to the compassion and aid of the native peoples in their vicinities. Keep that in mind. Okay? Your ancestors owe some gratitude, meaning that you owe that gratitude and a measure of compassion that we showed on your ancestors when y'all came into Jamestown, Virginia, and Plymouth and Massachusetts, because you were hungry, you were cold, you didn't even know how to cook a plate of food, but we taught you that. Okay, we gave you life, but here you are trying to take the life out of the people who give you life. It's like you drowning, okay? And one of my ancestors gave you CPR and you came to life and now you're trying to drown them. Is that the gratitude that you show? Do you think that the prosperity that you have gotten or you have gained from the genocide of my ancestors, do you think it's going to last forever? No, it's not. The time is nigh and my ancestors are here. That's why our people are waking up. You see, you're missing that because you are spiritually blind. But y'all gonna learn. Y'all gonna learn. Whereas in the infancy of the United States, the founders of the Republic expressed the desire for a just relationship with the Indian tribes, as evidenced by the Northwest Ordinance enacted by Congress in 1787, which begins with the phrase, the utmost good faith shall always be observed towards the Indians. Who do you think the Indians are? You're not going to prevent us from identifying as who we are. Call us sovereign citizens because we claim our identity. No, we are the sovereign people, not sovereign citizens. And like I said, we're going to read that again. Okay? The utmost good faith shall always, not sometimes, not if you so choose to, but always be observed towards the Indians. And now they're not even talking about tribes. They're talking about Indians, plural. Okay? Whereas Indian tribes provided great assistance to the fledgling republic as it strengthened and grew, including invaluable help to Meriwether Lewis and William Clark on their epic journey from St. Louis, Missouri to the Pacific coast. Whereas native peoples and non-native settlers engaged in numerous armed conflicts, whereas the United States government violated many of the treaties ratified by Congress and other diplomatic agreements with Indian tribes. They are admitting what they did. So now you're going to tell me that this document don't mean nothing? It is not legally binding? So what is it? Congress are lying to my ancestors and my people? Whereas this nation should address the broken treaties and many of the more ill-conceived federal policies that followed, such as what? Extermination, termination, forced removal and relocation, and outlawing of traditional religions and destruction of sacred places. Whereas the United States forced Indian tribes and their citizens to move away from their traditional homelands and onto federally established and controlled reservations in accordance with such acts as the Indian Removal Act of 1830. But then you chose certain parts of Indian country. The entire Americas is Indian country, all right? And you put certain people that don't look like us in reservations and told us it was us. But yet still you put the real Indians in the hood, in the ghettos, in the urban communities. Those are the original Indians. So for all you Negroes running around calling yourself niggas and black and African American in the hood, you are the Indians in the hood. Those are reservations. They are called hood reservations. Whereas many native people suffered and perished. One, during the execution of the official United States government policy of forced removal, including the infamous Trail of Tears and the Long Walk. Number two, during bloody armed confrontations and massacres such as the Stand Creek Massacre in 1864 and the Wounded Knee Massacre in 1890. And three, on numerous Indian reservations, whereas the United States government condemned the traditions, beliefs, and customs of the native peoples and endeavor to assimilate them by such policies as retribution of land on the General Allotment Act of 1887 and the forcible removal of Indian children from their families to faraway boarding schools where their native practices and languages were degraded and forbidden. So now y'all know what happened. And you are still taking our children up to this day. But don't forget, whatever you give, that's what you're going to receive. The universe got, oh, trust me, Mother Nature and the universe is coming. All right? And one way or the other, you're going to pay for your sins. Believe that. You are going to pay for your sins because you have a chance. You have a chance right now. Okay? You have a chance to make amends. Because you know what? We are just a forgiving people. I don't know why. But I guess that's just the nature of who we are as gods. Because we know we are the creator of all. But you have a chance to make things right. Why don't you just take the opportunity instead of continuing to fight us? If we lose, you lose. That's what you don't realize. When we win, you win. Everybody wins when the original people win. But if the original people lose, which I don't see how that's going to happen, you're going to lose. Let us read a little more. Whereas officials of the United States government and private United States citizens harmed native peoples by unlawful acquisition of recognized tribal land and the theft, okay? All right then, of resources from such territories and mismanagement of tribal trust funds. Of course, because you're giving it to people who don't look like us. Whereas the policies of the United States government toward Indian tribes and breaking of the covenants with Indian tribes have contributed to the severe social ills and economic troubles in many native communities today. All right, I'm not going to read any more. I just wanted to make my point. You guys could go read this yourself. All right, I will put all that in the link for you below. You feel me? All right. So I'm saying all this to say that just know that as a people, as the original people of this land, when we stand to declare who we are, they're going to make it hard because they are ungrateful. Okay? They have no gratitude. They have no respect. They have no honor. They have no honor. You see, they forgot where they came from. Or maybe they didn't. Wherever you were or your ancestors were, my American Indian ancestors didn't do that to you. All right? Y'all came to our land for refuge. And we gave you a home. And we fed you. We are the most loving, forgiving people on this planet. In every aspect of our lives, we have shown that. It is because, maybe it's because we are the closest thing to the Great Spirit, and we have all of the Great Spirit attributes in us. And because the Great Spirit is love, that's why we love so much, and that's why we forgive so much. But know that there's always a wrath from the Great Spirit. And whatever you put out there, you will receive it. You see, our people don't have to fight too hard because nature, the universe is going to take care of it. Because your karma, your judgment is already set. That's why I don't forgive. You feel me? I don't forgive people that don't want to pay or make amends for their sins. If you know you did wrong, you ask for forgiveness, but your words don't match up to your actions. Because every time you see an American Indian, you are supposed to take a bow because of what we did for your people, to show some gratitude. You feel me? Doors should be open up for us. We shouldn't be paying for anything on this land because we gave y'all everything. I had to do this video to make this point. All right? So, this portion of this video is brought to you by Original Tribal Wear. Go check out the website. Let me just share the link real quick. I will put that, of course, I'm going to put all that stuff in the link below. Go to www.originaltribalwear.com. Women, men's, children, clothing, tribal apparel. Okay? We have to support our own. It's the only way we could do this, is to support our own. Learn to love each other again. That's it. All right? It's the only way, man. We cannot go backwards anymore. We cannot allow people, it doesn't matter who it is, even if they look like us or they don't look like us, I don't care. We have to stop allowing people to separate us, divide us. We have been divided for too long. Okay? We have been divided for too long. I cannot wait till the day where all these gangs realize that they are the same people and unite. I'm putting that out there in the universe. And may my ancestors and the Great Spirit make it manifest. Okay? So go to www.originaltribalwear.com and show your support. All right? Also, this portion of this build is brought to you by www.simplystoned.webs. All right? Where you could go get, your necklace, your stones, for just stones that could clear energy and beautiful neck pieces. All right? So go ahead and definitely support our own family. That's what we got to do. Every other ethnic group support their own. So it's about time we start supporting our own. We owe that much to ourselves. Okay? Beautiful pieces. Beautiful pieces. Let's go to the next page and see what's on the next page. All right? www.simplystones.webs.com. All right? Here we go. All these beautiful pendants. All right? And there's a markdown on all. I asked the sister to do us a favor and give the people a deal. So she marked down a lot of the products that she has. All right? Or the pieces rather that she has. So by all means, go ahead and support. You feel me? And you could also, get your custom made necklace. All right? So you could always get that as well. There we go. All right, family. All righty. So sometimes, man, we just have to be able to, it's tough. All right. Being indigenous, the original indigenous people of this land is not an easy thing. But you know what? Our victory has already been won. Our ancestors are alive and well. It is time for the drums to start beating again, because the drums simulated our heartbeats. All right. I'm going to put the websites in the link for you guys so you could have that. All right. So you guys could support. Okay. I'm going to put both links in there for you. So it's in the chat. All right. Both links to the website. Yeah, man. It's time that, like I said, man, we have. All right. And it's time that we stop, looking at the differences between us and focus on what we have in common. All right. Turtle Island, what was deemed or called the Americas. All right. Turtle Island, Abiyala. Okay, just in case y'all didn't know, the Americas was also called Abiyala by certain South American clans. It was called Abiyala. All right. And Abiyala is spelled Abya. Yala. Abiyala. Okay. It all, even before it was called America, all these names, Turtle Island, all that. All right. So as the original people of Turtle Island, Abiyala, you know, it's time that we start getting the respect that we so deserve and is owed to us. Okay. It is owed to us. So once again, here's my link. I appreciate the support. I'm about to conclude this build. I hope that each and every one of you get the protection and the guidance from your ancestors, our ancestors, and let us continue to pay homage to those that came before us because they are still here with us. There's no such thing as death. Our skin, our body goes back into the soil, the dirt, but our spirit, our soul moves on. All right. So therefore, our ancestors are always with us, and we love them. We honor them. All right. Absolutely. Before, I mean, like I tell people, it doesn't matter what labels we go to call our landmass. I could go back as far as a time where it wasn't called anything. We were just living in nature, enjoying our beautiful Garden of Eden. Okay? And that's what I want us to focus on. All right? Picture that when we are moving forward so that we don't differentiate ourselves by all these names and titles and all these different things that really doesn't matter right now. Let us go back to the time when we had our Garden of Eden. That's what we should strive for. Let us learn to love each other again. It doesn't matter if they don't love us. As long as we love ourselves, we are the ones that's going to raise the vibration of Mother Earth. We are the ones. Okay? We are. Because we are the guardians of this universe. And nobody could take that away from us. We created it. You did. All right? Oh, no doubt. We were living in our lands, man. I'm talking about walking around butt naked, you know, and there was no perverted thing. Oh, well, she got a fatty, I want to tap that. You know what I'm saying? Or sisters running around talking about, girl, he hanging. Nah, man, we didn't have that type of mentality, man. We just enjoyed each other, man. You know what I mean? We just enjoyed each other. We just loved each other. We just appreciated each other. All right, on the inside and on the outside, because we know, so as within, so was without. And we were and we are beautiful people on the inside. All right. But they taught us how to be poisonous on the inside, and it started reflecting on the outside. So your work of growth and your work of changing has to be internal. Stop looking outside of yourself for that change. You feel me? My journey, my growth is mine, and yours is yours. You have to work on self. And then after you work on self, you teach yourself how to be whole. You teach yourself how to love yourself again. Then you bring yourself into the fold. Stop bringing your poisonous, chaotic self into the fold, man. Stop doing that. It's like taking rotten apples and putting it in a basket filled with good apples. If you know you are a bad apple, don't contaminate the whole. Work on yourself. If you need some help, reach out to brothers and sisters who are already doing great things, who are already vibrating on a high frequency. You feel me? We love y'all because we love us. I love me. The reason why I'm able to love you and love us is because I love me. I had to know what it meant or what it felt like to love me first. And I'm not going to say I had to make a lot of sacrifices. No, I had to give up a lot of things. I had to give up relationships. I had to give up television for 10, 15 years. People thought I was crazy. Y'all already know about my 3-year run of being celibate. I had to do all these things to find me. Those are the things that I have to give up or put aside. So just know that that journey, you could attain and reach the goals where you need to be. But you have to work on self first. And you may be in a family where nobody else is aware or what we call woke. And they may look at you as you're crazy, you're nuts. And you might feel isolated. You might feel like, you know what, I just don't want to be around these people no more. I'm asking you right now, just be a little patient with them. Don't force it on. Just plant the seed and back off. Because you know what? The ancestors planted that seed in you so that you could grow, so that you could be fruitful. But first, your people in your home have to see the change. Most of our people don't do what we say, but they do what we do. We have to show them the results. We have to show them that what we are doing, what we stand for, it bear fruits. And the only way it's going to happen is if we come together, family. If we do it as individuals, these people will not allow us to be. Because when you are isolated by yourself, they try to make an example out of you. But when we come together as one voice, one people, one blood, they cannot stop it. So all is not lost. We didn't lose anything. We just kind of forgot for a while. We got distracted for about 500 years. That's a very long time if you ask me. But the point is, the spirit of our ancestors are in us right now. They never left. They just fell asleep in us because we got distracted. We allowed them to fall asleep in us because we started subscribing to these people, pagan saviors, not realizing that our ancestors are our saviors. But first we have to learn to save self because we have free will. And then we call on our ancestors. Their gods is not going to save us. Let us stop calling out to their gods. Their deities are not going to save us. Their ancestors are not going to save us. Our ancestors are going to save us. We have that spiritual umbilical cord that we have to find and seek to get back that connection. It's in you. You just have to go deep within and find it. Look within yourself. Stop looking at my journey. Stop looking at somebody else's journey. Find your purpose. Find your own path. And once you have found yourself, then you could bring yourself to the whole. You see, you have to find the I in you first. Okay? Find the I in you first. And then you become part of the team. Then you become part of the us and the we. Okay? In French, we means yes. Okay? To be part of the yes, to be part of the we, first you have to find the I. Work on yourself. Build yourself. Get away from the distractions if you have to. If you have to stay away from Facebook, social media for a couple of months, do that. But find yourself. I appreciate love you guys. And thank you so much for being a part of this build. Our ancestors' legacy shall be restored. And there's nothing anybody could do to take that away or stop it. All right? Nothing. Okay? So we'll talk soon. Once again, I appreciate Somebody just give a little donation in my Cash App. I thank you for that. All right. Once again, there it is. And we'll talk a little later. I appreciate love you guys once more. Okay. We'll talk soon. Take care of yourselves. I love y'all. Peace.